Welcome back to the Bootroom Podcast today. Henry Bennett is alongside me. Henry, welcome to the podcast for like the 5th time already.
Yes, thank you for having me on, boys.
No,
really appreciate it. This is going to be a good episode, I hope, fingers crossed. Let's see
Well,
how it goes.
no, it is going to be because you're our first media man on the episode. So, Harry, how are you feeling?
I'm really excited. I've spoken to him for about 10-15 minutes before for my own bit of work, but this is going to be even better. 45 minutes to an hour of just all things Watford, all things content.
Well, I don't know how long we'll spend on Watford because Watford aren't doing too well right
They're
now.
not, no.
Henry, talk to us about the start of your journey then. So, let's start off with Sunday League because I know that we've all played Sunday League here. So, bring us into your shoes.
Okay, let's be honest with you. I'm one of many people who didn't have a very successful career in Sunday League. Let's be honest here. I was a goalkeeper, so obviously I was a goalkeeper for, let's say, 5 or 6 years when I was. So I used to be an outfield player, and then I just went into goalkeeping because, let's be honest, if you're not good enough, you go in goal.
So it's a bit hard.
Yeah, well, it's what happens. Unfortunately, you go in goal when you're obviously you're not good enough. But then obviously I kept at it. Played a bit of Sunday League here and there, and I think everyone's dream when you're younger is to be a professional footballer. And let's be honest, I started it off when I was about 12 years old. Let's be honest with you. So and then I thought, let's go into media. So obviously I progressed through secondary school and sixth form, did a media course, and that was more the start of it. That's when you start to learn about how many careers you can get in the media industry, and obviously football has been a part of my life since I was knee high in a sense. So to mix those two together has probably been the best idea I've ever had. Obviously completed sixth form, went into uni, currently in my second year, and I'm currently on a placement with a National League South club. So at the moment, it cannot be any better in a sense. So I'm really enjoying it at the moment.
Can't complain, can you? With
No,
that?
you actually can't.
You can't. Did you enjoy being a goalkeeper?
I love being a goalkeeper. I still am a goalkeeper, so I play. I play on a Wednesday just for a social team, and then I play every Monday with moaning 40-year-olds. So can't complain. So I actually played last night. Made a few saves. So yeah.
Did you win?
No, we did not.
Oh, okay.
No, we did not.
Okay.
No.
Was it a close game?
Well, to be fair, those games could be like 15, 13.
Is it five-a-side?
It's not five-a-side, no. So it's like 10-a-side and you just turn up, you can just play wherever you want. But it's more like
Sounds good.
40, 45-year-olds just turning up and just playing football. So
fair enough.
and then you're the goalkeeper, so you just put your hand up and just go with it, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But still enjoy it, still play football. But just alongside my career, just keep me at it, really.
Henry, you're at UCFB, something that I now obviously can't pronounce. And there's several, it's a football place, right? You can go do coaching, you can do media. Well, talk to us about it and also about your experience there so far.
So I've been there since the middle of 2024. Obviously, I do a sports journalism degree, so I'm training to be a sports journalist, if that helps.
Good to me now.
So obviously, you look at ways that you can work for different companies. For example, they do a lot of stuff. So they work freelance work, working with SEO and like changing times, podcast work, broadcasting work. So they basically just give you a load of options, and they try and get you probably a good standard of most of those sort of disciplines, if you could say. Obviously, I've taken a different route. So obviously, in the sense, I am a sort of a journalist and informed content creator, but also I work for a club. So what they do is they offer you loads of different things that you can do, so it can give you a pathway. So I'd say about 80% of people who do my course end up in a football club. So a lot of my graduates have jobs at Millwall. Exeter City are quite big, Swindon Town. I know that obviously Boreham Wood, they've got a few boys from UCFB. Dorking is mainly UCFB, so obviously they're the two big clubs. But obviously the uni offers loads of stuff. So as I said to you boys earlier, that they've got a partnership with the National League, so you can basically just get any placement that you want. So Woking offer them, Walton and Hersham, just clubs around the area, Aldershot, Farnborough as well. So just loads of clubs just give you an opportunity, and the way that they give you those sort of stuff it's quite surreal in a sense, because the amount of sort of opportunities they give you. So for example, on Wednesday they've got a panel with Martin Tyler, which I think is absolutely mental.
Yeah.
You've got to jump at that opportunity, sort of thing. I say to everybody that I talk to or I work with, you've got to take these opportunities. And when stuff like that comes up, you have to say yes. So for example, when I'm working with the club that I do for now, it's a different kettle of fish, but it's also it's really enjoyable, and you're getting real world experience whilst you're at uni. So as a student, you can't complain. Do you know?
Yeah, because you're studying whilst getting that hands-on experience, aren't you?
Yeah.
Obviously, we said before about every opportunity you get, you jump at, and you have, and obviously you've reaped the rewards because you're thoroughly enjoying it and making every day count. Sorry.
Yeah, 100%. And I think that when you go into the industry, you don't know anyone. That's the main thing. You have to, like, for me personally, like talking to people and like just conversating is just a non-negotiable for me. So just, this industry is all about contacts. So for example, this sort of collaboration between us, that's a contact that I already know. So you boys, you've got a podcast, a lot of other podcasts, we'll try and get people on. So in a sense that when you sort of work in the industry, you have to sort of go and talk to people and you have to make yourself known in that sort of sense. Do you know what I mean? So obviously you're doing the right thing. You've got so many people on. I'm one of 3 Dorking Wanderers people now to be on this podcast. So obviously you love this club, which is really good.
We do.
But yeah. So just what I say to people is just obviously get your name out there. And, I try to do that through my content creation, through my TikTok pages. So yeah, that's what I try and do, really.
And we were at, I just wanted to say, we were at Dorking a few months ago back. We watched Dorking Enfield.
Oh, did you?
And we were there for that game.
I'm disappointed because I actually wasn't at that game.
Oh, really?
I'm quite disappointed. Well, I was supposed to be on that game, but you heard the new boy, Cameron. He's on the PA. Yeah, he's one of our new stadium announcers now. But yeah, I'm actually quite disappointed now. I don't know, you should have given me a text or something.
This would have been when? October?
It was October time,
yeah,
I think.
November.
Yeah, okay.
November, that's it.
A good game. I thought, to be fair, Enfield obviously, Dorking obviously won, but I thought Enfield put in a good shift.
Yeah. Obviously, I was watching the game from home because I was at home. I was tucked up in bed. I'll be honest with you. You would have noticed Jose Marquez.
Yes, unbelievable.
Yeah, he left the club since
he
then.
Did,
he left
the
club literally 2 days later.
Yeah.
So he picked up an injury. So he went back to Forest Green Rovers. But the raging bull, as Mark Foley described him, got a little bit of Spanish in him. So a little bit the raging bull. Really good, really nice guy. And obviously you can see he scored goals. He did it at Alva Church. He did it at loads of clubs before. So he's already hit a few at Forest Green. So yeah, I'm really excited to see how he progresses, to be honest with you. And hopefully we see him in red and white very, very soon. We'll have to see.
It'd be good to see that.
Well, you know what? So you mentioned that you're one of 3 on the podcast. Speak to us about the relationship you had with Bobby and Jack and everyone else between.
So I worked with Bobby a few times before. So when I first started with Dorking, I did the under-19 socials. So I was leading the academy socials for match days. And then recently I got to work with Bobby again at Swindon Town. We drew them away in the FA Youth Cup, which was honestly an incredible experience, mate. It's like working at an EFL stadium. No, it was completely empty, but there was loads of it feels mental, doesn't it? Like even just the thought of going to a place like Swindon and saying, "Oh, I've worked it." Do you know what I mean? Like even when I've said obviously Bobby's a lovely guy, very very down to earth bloke. Obviously worked with Jack a few times. I actually haven't really spoken to Jack in a sort of sense, but he's a very nice kid and
he is. He's very humble. As
well.
100%.
And can I be honest with you? For the few times I've seen him play, he will. He's going to be right at the top, and I'm really there's a lot of people in the Dorking pipeline that I'm going to say now that I hope are going to go to the top. Josh Heber is one of them. Josh is just turned 18 years old, and he's already got a handful of first team appearances, and he's honestly one of the nicest down to earth kids. He's just such a nice kid, and his ability just to play at that level is unbelievable. Bertie Baker, Ted Sullivan,
yeah, I know him. Yeah, I say know him, but I know of him because he went to a school near me.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah.
Oh, Mark described him as the white Perlo, so that was quite interesting. Yeah. So big things hopefully for those boys. Obviously, I worked with a few of them. Obviously, I've got quite a good relationship with them, so hopefully we see him at the top very soon.
Well, I mean, it'll be great for Dorking though as well.
Yeah.
To have the exposure. So obviously, Jack is 18, 19, 20.
He's 20.
20. All right, 20. And look, from what we've seen of him, I think he's going to be a really good player. Is that on loan currently?
Yes. I think it's Hastings United. Don't quite.
I think it was.
I think it is Hastings United. Don't quote me on that, but I think he played a few first team games this season. He was involved in pre-season. He played a game against, I think it was Tottenham. He came on.
Okay.
He got a few minutes under his belt. But I think he's just. There's a plan in place. So a lot of our youngsters have gone out on loan. We've seen a few bits with. For example, Jake Lawrence, he went on loan to Broadbridge Heath. Seb Tata Caballero, he went out to Leatherhead. There's a plan in place for a lot of the youngsters at the club just to go out and just get first team football. So, and then once they come back, they get straight involved. So obviously the 2 that I've just mentioned, they're going to be involved with the first team next season. So it's going to be interesting to see how a lot of the players who are below them but are wanting to make that step up hopefully develop. So it'd be good to see them, grow into the first team and just see how they develop really.
A lot of people from my former school actually did go to Dorking for the academy to obviously do the optional study because you can study, can't you, whilst you're there?
Yeah, you can.
And all I've heard is good things about it. Like all it is so positive. The feedback's great. Like the football's fantastic. It seems like if you want to make it, that's the place to go.
Oh, 100%. And you know, speaking to the executives, you know, Chris and Jonathan Bynes, you know, two lovely people. Like Jonathan's a bit of the Welsh, so it's like it's good to have a bit of variation in the accent when you come down to Surrey. And obviously Chris is a big Sunderland fan, so obviously a lot of variation around the club. But both of those together, they've set out a plan that they want Dorking's academy to be one of the best in Surrey and in Sussex, and they're already setting that out. We've got obviously we've got the Meadowbank facility, which is an Astro pitch, which obviously a lot of the academy play on. You might know the old ground, West Humble, before Dorking moved to Meadowbank. That's hopefully there's plans in there to be developed. So obviously they want to improve the academy, and I cannot wait for that to happen because, you know, in the pipeline there are so many youngsters that when you come through, and also the coaching as well. You know, the people involved, Rob Tuvey, Jordan Clark, two, honestly, in my opinion, two of the best youth coaches that the club has ever had. And Rob's only been here he's been here less than me in a sense, but Rob and Jordan together just working as developing young talent is just such a fantastic thing to see. But also below them, Charlie Dunn is the B team manager, and obviously Bobby Joe, who's also used to play for the club and the under-19s gaffer. But there's just so many quality coaches in the setup. And to be honest with you, there's no reason why the club can't progress to be the best in Surrey as an academy. And you know, the amount of learners. So this year was a record in terms of learners for us. So you know, the progression is there, and honestly, we really want to see it grow, and I can't wait for it to grow because obviously academy football means a lot to me, and I want to see it just develop.
Well, you mentioned obviously what you do now. We'll continue to speak about that, but every time I go to a football game, and I'm sure we're all the same, is you want to be on the other side of the pitch as a player, but we've all agreed here that we're probably never going to make it. And then you think to yourself, also, why don't I try and be a coach? Is that ever crossed your mind?
Yeah, it has. 100% it has. Obviously, I've got a lot of opportunities at uni. I did actually get a coaching gig a few weeks ago, so I'm now the head of goalkeeping at the UCFB women's seconds team.
Nice.
So that's going to be interesting. So we'll see how that goes. It's my first actual step into coaching, so I actually can't wait for that to happen.
Yeah,
so
sounds really good.
Obviously, yeah. But I think for me, media was the main choice for me. I think there's always something about, you know, like working in media for me, and I think that, you know, it's just stood out as something that, you know, you want to pursue, like like stuff like this, like you boys have got a fantastic setup, and you're obviously you boys are you're still students as well, like myself. So just to have this and sort of the stuff around you, like it's like, I don't know how to explain it, but it's like it's a once in a lifetime opportunity where you've got to take it. Do you know what I mean?
What is your dream job?
Dream job. Oh, boys, you put me on the spot. I'll be honest with you. There's two in mind that I've got. There's two in mind. So one of them is to be a football commentator, just for working in the Premier League and stuff like that. I've recently tried my hand at commentary, so I've got my first opportunity, my big opportunity with the Zone in a few weeks, which I cannot wait for. Returning back to Dorking, Eastbourne Dorking, live on the Zone. So hopefully,
Eastbourne, Hugo Langton.
Yep, that's the one.
Yes. So hopefully it's going to be my big break. So we'll have to see how that goes.
Good luck.
And then my second one will probably just be like a content executive or like a head of media or like a big football club. I've always set that out from when I was younger, like especially going into this year uni. Like I need to start making moves. Like I need to, you know, get myself out there. So I think now this is going to be a telling time. So hopefully, I don't want to put anything into fruition, but let's hopefully see if I can be a content executive at Watford someday. But
that would be right.
That'd be fantastic.
It would be unbelievable. I think, like, if you're managing the social media for your hometown club, it must be like, because I know a few of the boys that have worked at Watford previously have actually been fans themselves. So I want to see how that feels as like a fan, but also just working there
to work with the players.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. So obviously I work with players at different clubs that I work for, but you know, working with the players of your team feels a bit different. Do you know what I mean?
Must be mad.
100%. Yeah.
Like 1 minute, so for example, Imran Luzi, worked with him. The next minute he's off to AFCON.
Yeah.
How insane! I wanted to ask about the Zone. So I'm presuming, is there going to be a team that goes to you that set everything up, and you're just a commentator? Or have you got?
I'm not actually sure how it works, but I got approached by someone after doing hopping on commentary for our game against, I believe it was Salisbury a few weeks ago. They approached me to just say, we've seen what you're doing. We do not, obviously Eastbourne's main commentator, so obviously each club in the National League South or the National League, they sign a main commentator. So it's not actually, you don't get like freelance commentators like the Premier League. You don't get freelance commentators who come down and do the game, for example. Each club is assigned their own club commentator. And so East One Borough's club commentator can't make it to that game. So basically what they've done is just offered me it and just said, do you want to do it instead? I was like, absolutely.
100%.
So just like, if you've got the opportunity, you just can't say
Is it a
no,
paid
can
one?
you? I'm not sure, actually. I'm actually not sure. So we'll have to see how it goes. Hopefully, Design, if you're watching, a few quid in the bank, please.
But either way, it will still be like, whether you get paid or not, it's going to be unbelievable experience,
sure.
isn't it?
Oh, yeah, 100%. And I think that, you know, I've commentated on live football before, so obviously it's not new to me, but to commentate on a live TV game is going to be like, it's different, isn't
People could be watching it from like Australia.
Which seems mental to me, and now I'm like a bit scared, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's a bit scary.
There's
like,
good nerves, though.
Yeah, it's
good nerves.
good nerves, but it's like, you know, people could be watching me from like yoinks away, and that's like, that's like, to me, that feels like if you can hear my voice, like, you got to be proud of that, haven't you?
Yeah,
You've got to be really proud of that.
No, I was going to say that I think what's the best part of commentary for you? So for me, to set the scene, set the occasion, it's the opening.
The opening
2 or 3
is,
minutes.
The opening's important, isn't
Oh
it?
yes, 100%. And do you write your scripts when you do it?
Oh, well, we haven't done commentary yet.
You haven't done commentary
No,
yet?
No.
we're egging
That's
to do
my-
something.
I mean,
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
So preparation for me when I go into a game as a commentator, I will always write a piece just on both teams, going through the lineups, and then obviously you like form your stuff. So if you like watch certain games back that I've done, so you'll see just me talking for 2 or 3 minutes about just recent form and obviously the teams as well. And then for me personally, I think the goals are probably the best bit about commentary for me. So I like raising my voice a little bit. I think that's always the best bit, isn't it? So,
100%.
But yeah, I think every aspect of commentary is quite different. I think depends when you're doing radio or TV commentary. So they're both different in a way. So for example, when you're doing radio commentary, you've got to set the scene because no one can see the game if you're doing it on radio commentary. But obviously, if you're on TV, everyone can see the game. So you've got to be a bit quicker. You've got to explain a bit more. So for example, let's just say if someone's running towards the penalty area, I was like, you've got to actually say physically, where is he running towards the penalty area? What sort of run is he taking? Whereas on TV, you can see it. So you can just be a bit more dialed down with how you approach it. But I think with commentary, it's a very nuanced game. I think you've got to be very on the ball throughout the game, no matter what you do. So there's a lot of aspects I do enjoy about commentary, but in a sense, I think, you know, it's one of the funner bits of sports media.
Any halftime snacks?
Oh, can I be honest with you? I don't really eat when I'm at games. I don't know why.
Okay.
I think it's just like a nervous thing. I don't know why. I think I love a hot chocolate. I love an on-the hot chocolate.
Yeah,
But
option.
Whipped cream?
no whipped cream.
Oh, no.
No whipped cream.
Okay.
I don't like whipped cream, I'll be honest with you. I hate whipped
no
cream.
way.
So, but usually it's the hot chocolates. You know when you go to like non-league hot chocolates, you know how they are. They're about
water in a splash of it.
45 million degrees, burn your tongue first sip. So it's like you just got to let it sit for like 20 minutes. I remember having a hot chocolate because one of my mates brought it up to me. And just whilst I was commentary, I took a sip while the ball was out of play. I'm nearly spat out in the bar in front. I'm like, oh no! And then I've just had to just let it sit for about 40 minutes. And like, I remember the next sip I took was like the 10 minutes to go. I'm like, oh my god! Like it's just like honestly, like I've got a thing against non-league hot chocolates now, so I just can't go near them. Do you know what I mean?
But what about non-league burgers? You can be very hit or miss with some of them.
Yeah,
For sure.
they can. Very, very hit or miss.
Because you guaranteed a bit of cheese on the burger. But like,
You are,
what's
yeah.
in
I
the
mean,
burger is a different matter.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I prefer a pie, to be fair.
Okay.
Did you boys
I'll
get
give
a
a
non-league
pie.
burger when you came to Dorking?
No.
We
you
didn't
not?
know.
No.
We actually had McDonald's waiting for the train.
Right, no, you can't do that. Boys. You can't do that. No. I'm quite disappointed. There's to be honest with you, I do like the food options at Dorking. Can I be honest with you? We do like a pulled pork burger. We used to do a pulled pork burger, which
Okay.
is
I'm a big fan of pulled pork.
but I love a bit of pulled pork.
Yeah, it's good,
Brilliant.
yeah.
It's brilliant.
It is good. It's really good.
Very, very nice. But I don't know if we do that anymore. But the chicken tenders at the moment are go-to for
You
me.
can't go wrong with the chicken.
No, you
tender.
can't.
Can't go wrong.
No, you
Cannot
can't.
go wrong.
What sauce do you have? Don't tell me you have it like just
No,
the chicken.
Absolutely not. No. I'm a huge mayo fan. I love it.
I
do love mayo.
I'm a
I
huge
do love mayo.
fan. I think it's better than ketchup.
It depends on the day.
I'm starting to see that now.
Do you see- yeah,
I'm starting to see it.
I-
It's more versatile. Sandwiches, chips, chicken. I mean,
Exactly.
it goes with a lot. doesn't
Exactly.
I'll tell you what, with a bit of teriyaki, and then you add some mayonnaise on it.
Him and his
as well.
teriyaki.
Yeah.
If it is teriyaki.
No, seriously. You had the. So I literally had it last night, and this morning I had it for breakfast. I actually had chicken. What are they called? Tenders.
Yeah.
Teriyaki, and then a bit of mayonnaise.
What for breakfast?
Yep.
If it was breakfast.
Can't
yeah.
go wrong with that.
I think you need to have a think at yourself. To be honest with you.
No, well, to be fair, look, sometimes you look in the fridge and you're not the fridge, the larder cupboard, as some might put it.
Right.
You see shreddies. I don't want shreddies.
Yeah.
So you have eggs or bacon or something, don't you?
Yeah, but
Don't have chicken tenders and teriyaki.
what about a roast dinner for breakfast?
Not with teriyaki sauce. I'll tell you no. Do you know what? I'm not against it. I'm actually
Yeah,
not against
there we
it.
go. Well,
I'm
I've
not
had that
against
a couple
it.
times.
I won't physically go out of my way to make one at 8 o'clock in the morning. But I'm not
No.
against it, 100%.
And
neither.
the last food question here.
Go on then.
How do you like your gravy?
Thick.
Yeah, there we go.
It has to be thick.
No, but you're saying that though. A lot of posh places that you go to, they have like gravy as thin as water. It's like
No, 100%. No.
They do, and it's vile.
100%. I agree.
fine.
I agree. You have to have thick gravy.
Give me the bog standard bisto. Loads
Bog
of
standard,
those. What are they called? Like those flaky, whatever they're called. And mix it all up.
I think the nicest way possible, if you have gravy as water, you need sectioning. Like it's disgusting.
It's strange,
Why
isn't it?
would you have
Yeah.
thin gravy?
I know.
Yeah.
Because if you dip something into gravy, for example, it's just going to just drop it off. It's,
Yeah.
like dipping your food in water. It's just weird.
Well, it effectively is because
literally is.
there's so little granule in there. You can only taste the
Exactly,
gravy.
you have to have it thick.
It's like when you have what like Brands? Is it not Brands? That's the pickle. The juice, and you got to dilute it with water.
Oh, squash.
And
Yeah.
well, squash, and you have like the
Yeah.
tiniest bit of
Yeah,
squash
yeah,
ever,
yeah.
and you dilute it. It's just like pink-looking squash.
A quarter of the cup's got to be juice, isn't it?
Oh,
Squash,
yes,
squash.
for sure.
yes,
Sure.
100%.
Well, we've got a bit off topic here. I wanted to mention actually about what you've done in the past before you got to the university. You worked with Stevenage, right, and Bromley.
No, so I
You
didn't.
didn't?
I didn't. So I did work experience at the club. So that,
Yeah.
but that was during my time at UCFB.
Okay.
So what we did is that every single they do like 2 or 3 trips a year. So at UCFB, I went. We did a game like a Papa John's Trophy game against Gillingham. So I got to go pitch side and film a few bits, that was like my first big time at like an EFL stadium. So like obviously that's local to me as well. So it. You know, I've watched games in that stadium, and like to go on pitch side and go and film it is like a completely different experience, which is I think is mental to me. Like, I go to obviously I went to games as a fan, but like when you actually step pitch side now, it's a bit like wow, this is mental. I'm not a
Yeah.
fan anymore. This is I get to work in this, which is quite crazy. And then Bromley, they helped me out with my assignments a lot. So Josh, who's their head of media there, he got me in a few times. So I actually revisited a few weeks ago. Actually, yeah. Bromley's actually a really nice club. Andy Woodman, their gaffer. I got the chance to meet Danny Imre as well, who's from Palace, I think. Lovely guy as well. I took his time out of his day to just come and say hello, which I thought was unbelievable.
It's a good deed, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure.
Very, very nice guy. Hopefully, because I obviously used to watch him when he was at Chelmsford. So yeah, hopefully, I want to see Danny, go right to the top. Such a humble guy. I think where's he now? Is he Blackpool?
I think it might be.
Yeah, I think,
tell you.
I think
he's
it's
at Blackpool.
Blackpool.
Yeah, he's doing really well there as well.
Yeah.
So hopefully, he's a really humble guy.
Good on him.
So yeah, good on him,
Yeah.
100%.
One thing I did want to just go back to, was you obviously mentioned commentators. Now,
Yeah.
there's a lot of good ones out there. I know Charlie and myself are big fans of Seb Hutchinson on Sky. I think he's fantastic.
Yes, I agree.
I think he's fantastic. Personally, I actually get bored of Peter Drury. I think he overdoes it. Same thing every single game. But I wanted to ask you, who's your favourite?
My favourite, Martin Tyler, 100%. It's
Okay,
Martin Tyler.
classic,
100%
yeah.
Martin Tyler, because I actually got the chance to meet him a few weeks ago, which
Did you?
was very surreal. He was at a friendly of ours, Bromley under 21s. So we had a few postponements. So obviously he's a Woking guy, isn't he? So he came down to us just for a bit of football. Got to shake his hand and say hello. And to be honest with you, when I was shaking his hand, I'm like, wow, this is football royalty. Like this
It was,
this
wasn't
is like the person that I grew up thinking.
Yeah.
I want to be like you.
He did the Aguero moment, didn't he?
Yeah, and I remember one of the main bits of me wanting to go into football media was I was watching Man United versus Aston Villa when United won the title. And I remember him commentating over that Van Persie volley, and I was like, oh my god, I want to do that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I remember saying to my dad, I was like, Dad, can I do that as well, please? I'm like, yeah. I can pinpoint that as the main moment to say that was the moment I wanted to work in sports media. So for me personally, just to shake his hand is like a big thing for me.
Well, I remember my first impression of commentary. I actually asked my dad if they do commentary in the stadium. So like, if you can hear it as you're watching it. I was deluded as hell. But we actually met Martin Tyler when we went to the Football Content Awards. He was there.
He was there, yeah.
He was a sound guy.
Just so nice and down to earth, as you mentioned, down to earth, humble, that sort of thing. Like, he's a massive icon. He's by far the biggest in the room. Obviously, like Cal the Dragon was there, but people debating who's a bigger icon. It's obviously Martin Tyler, isn't it?
I'm not sure that's a debate in all
Debated
fairness.
that.
People are asking who's a bigger icon, social media, Martin Tyler, Cal the Dragon. It's like obviously it's Martin
Is that
Tyler.
a serious debate?
Well,
Nah, can't
I don't
be.
know if it's to them, but obviously Martin Tyler's, as you said, football royalty, a football icon, and it's just like, as you said, shaking his hand. This is the guy that
Quite tall, wasn't he?
He was quite tall.
Yeah, taller than
Nice
me.
firm handshake as well.
Oh, well, of course it's going to be firm.
It was always.
Yeah. So in terms of where you take your inspiration from Martin Tyler, what do you take your inspiration from? Because they always say you don't want to be like everyone else. So how do you make yourself different?
Oh, that's a great question. I'll be honest with you. So obviously you boys know a lot of the big TikTokers are on football media. So John Nellis is obviously a big one that I take inspiration from. Not in his content style, unfortunately. I've just got a grand to go and waste and stick into football, unfortunately. So
it's mad.
Which I would love to do, because that would get me a few more views. But unfortunately, I don't have that. But I try and we try and obviously every single idea that you get in sports media, whether you're working for a club or you're working for yourself, you always get it from someone else. And I think everybody, that you can see, in the sports media is very creative. Everyone's got like loads of different ideas. So, for example, have you guys seen the viral Stockport County video that they did? So there was a viral video that they did over a Tame Impala song, which was just really aesthetic video. And we've tried to look at that and say, okay, that's a really good example. Like, how can we sort of replicate that with our content at Dorking, for example? So obviously, we look at different clubs. So we look at, let's say, the clubs around us in our league. We look at National League clubs. We look at EFL standard in the Premier League, and we're always trying to match that. So, for example, we've got a load of new graphic designers in. So myself, Kent, who does the Bunch of Amateurs thumbnails. If you he does the Bunch of Amateurs thumbnails, and then obviously Callum and myself. So we all did it together alongside a few other people. And what we're trying to do is basically we set a target for ourselves that we want to be hopefully EFL output by the end of the season. And in terms of the graphics that we're putting out recently, it's obviously upgraded our engagement. But obviously, trying to make yourself different is just sort of you got to look at how you can draw people in without being like, how do you explain this? Like being too much of the same. Do you know what I mean? So you're always looking at ways to innovate. So we're always, putting ideas in, or if we see something different, we're always put it in. So, for example, I'd say Manchester City are probably the big example. Their output is unbelievable, and I think they're honestly one of the best examples. So you can always see that they're always posting loads of different stuff, like heat maps, stat slides, like stuff like that, and we always want to copy that. So not in terms of copy it, but like we want to take that and put our own twist on it. So in terms of improving, you always got to look up. So you can't look downwards. Like sometimes you can look downwards. There are a lot of clubs below us which I'd say have our level output, which is really impressive. So there's a club at the moment, AFC Croydon Athletic, which I saw at the moment. They're step 5. They've got output of EFL, which I think is unbelievable. Which I like, and we look at those sort of examples and think, okay, how can we look at those and how can we bring that to our own table? So, media is all about improving your own exposure, but also in a sense, how can you make your club stand out? So obviously through the documentary, we've got our own sort of stand out a little bit, but also we've got to focus on ourselves on our own social media pages. So we can't just rely on one thing. We've got to, in a sense, be the providers of our own content in a way.
I was going to ask though, so at the start of the season, am I right to say all the clubs sort of changed their social media branding?
Yeah, so every season, every club will always go for a social media rebrand. Some clubs might do the same; they might stick around. But if you're smart, you rebrand. You go with different graphics. You try and just get stuff sorted. So obviously, we're in the process now of looking at next season. We want to just look at how can we improve, just graphics wise, what we did good this year, what we haven't done well. So obviously, we're just going through the motions at the moment, but we're gearing. You'd be surprised what time preparation for the new season starts. It can begin as early as January, which is when your hard work starts. But obviously, when your footballers get your time off, we don't get a rest. We are in non-stop trying to think of new ideas and trying to get ready for the new season. So it's very, very demanding in a sense.
Well, because Chelsea, right? From what I can understand, Chelsea have a very photogenic social media. A lot of their things are photos. Of a lot of, and you can sort of understand what sort of photos they want. Very cinematic type photos. This is all decided at the start of the season, right? And they have to stick to this sort of branding.
Yeah. So in a sense, I think again, as you said, it's very photogenic, and I think Chelsea as well are another great example. I think your City, your Chelsea, and I think also in a sense Manchester United. I know they're hiring for a new head of social media, but the output that all three of them do, I think, are the ones that we look at the most.
Okay.
In terms of, let's say, just looking at your templates and stuff, we've stuck to the same one throughout the whole season. So once you put a template in, it stays the same the whole season. So for example, you put the same graphics for your lineups, your kickoffs, your full times, your half times. But what you can do is you can implement new things throughout the season. So obviously we've implemented a new thing where we have on Instagram and our X pages, we do like a thread or like a slideshow of like our next up opponents. Tom has been doing a fantastic job with those graphics, so shout out to him because he's been brilliant, especially just like consistently putting us out every week. But yeah, in terms of that, it's all decided at the start of the season. You stick to it at the start of the season. Obviously, we don't have like the amount of staff that Chelsea do, so we're very limited in what we can do. We only, at some games, we don't even have photographers. So yeah, we just got to sometimes work with what we got. And but when you set something out at the start of the season, you have to we sort of stick to it, because I think in media, if you don't have the sort of, especially with like graphics like that, if you don't sort of stick to it, then it gets a bit confusing. You can get a bit like your viewership can get a bit confused. So I think it's best just to stick the same template whenever, like throughout the season, and then maybe if in the new season, then maybe you can look at improving it and maybe changing it, because it's always evolving.
It is, and not just for you, but for anyone that creates content and graphic designs. It must feel so rewarding when you come up with a brand new content, a brand new idea, and you see all the comments saying like, well, I mean, not just comments, but the feedback is generally so positive.
Oh, 100%. And so an example of that actually is we had, when I first started at Dorking, we had a Matchday magazine that we used to do every month. And what I tried to do is when I first came in is we think, okay, let's try and revitalise it. There's a few people at the club who believe that, it should be, it should stay as print. I 100% agree. I think digital programs are just a waste of time. I think they should always be in print, because I think there's a longevity in football that they need to stay in print. So what we tried to do is we tried to make it more engaging. So we tried to do play interviews, do exclusives, write just different pieces, and just improve our like long form writing content just in that program. And it's got a fantastic reception, which is the good thing. And I remember in the first month we nearly sold out all our copies, which is brilliant. So obviously what we want to do is we want to keep improving that. And yeah, so in a sense that in terms of that, when you see the feedback, it's really, really rewarding, as you said. But I think when you put a plan into action and obviously it gets, that sort of traction, we're really, really pleased with it. But, it doesn't just stop there. We always have to keep going. We always have to keep producing more, because once you get one thing in, it's just not good enough. You have to keep going.
And there's more demand, I suppose, as well, right?
Yeah, 100%.
And the demand is, in this Matchday programme, there's probably, how many pages? 20 pages?
So the bulk of it is advertising, but in terms of actual content, you can look at 30, 35 pages. And
you've got to produce that throughout the week?
So it's monthly. So we give each of our team members a month, so we designate it into each little bits. So for example, I'm always in the previews, or I go into depth, I try and look at every single thing possible about the teams that we're right on, and then some of the boys will look at what happened during the month, so like recaps of what happened during the month, and then we'll just, if we got a sign in that month, we'll look at signings. Sometimes we'll do a player interview, sometimes we'll do a staff interview, sometimes we do fan interviews as well. I think fan interviews are a good way to try and
I've seen a few.
I think sometimes we try and connect with the community if we can. Yeah, it's a good way just to get people involved and just see that, if you're trying to reach out to fans, then maybe we can have a look and say, okay, why don't we have a go? And it's perfect.
I was going to say also with a bunch of amateurs, so they work with Dorking, but they're not Dorking.
So bunch of amateurs. I just need to make this clear to everybody at home. Bunch of amateurs is not Dorking Wanderers. Okay, I don't know how many times we have to explain this. Bunch of amateurs is not Dorking Wanderers. We are two separate companies and we are two separate entities on a match day. So for example, we went to, where was it? It was Worthing last year, and you can understand why they did this, because we were literally trading blows for the title last season, us and Worthing. So some clubs are cheeky and they try to limit the amount of media you bring.
Really?
100%. So when you put in your list, so you submit it to the clubs, they will try and cut it down, which is it might be to do on space, it might be to do, but some teams do it as like a mind game sort of thing. So I remember when
the media team,
just to mess you up in a sort of sense. So when you go down to, when we went to Worthing last year in April, I had to sit in the stands, if that helps.
Wow.
I didn't actually work. I was in the stands, and I worked on the B team game before, so they played at 11 o'clock that morning. So I worked on the B team game instead. So basically, we had allocation for 6, and then they cut it down to 4, and then they included a bunch of amateurs in that allocation. But we're two separate companies. I love what Rich is doing. Archie, Freddie, even though you're really, really annoyed sometimes, I still love you, unfortunately. But yeah, the two separate companies, I love what they're doing. They bring so much exposure to the club, and they showcase proper football in a sense. They showcase proper football, and that's why I think Buttroom Amateurs has done so well. It has, and obviously they started their new BOAFC, which I think is brilliant. I think it's absolutely brilliant what they're doing. I think to build a club from the ground up is going to be interesting, and obviously to film it and get the exposure that they have is unbelievable. So yeah, Buttroom Amateurs, in a sense, we're completely different, but we still, in a sense, work together, but we're two separate media companies in a way.
What's Worthing like in terms of the actual stadium? Because I've been to Worthing in itself a few times, but I've always wanted to go to the ground. So what's the actual stadium like?
Yeah, it's a nice ground. It's a nice ground. It's not one of my favourites in non-league. I think everyone knows that in the National League South, the one you look forward to is playing more for Torquay United. It is honestly one of the best away days.
Torquay, you say?
Torquay,
yeah.
Okay. Torquay is one of the best away days in the league, which we were supposed to go to last weekend, but it got called off, which is obviously the greatest thing
Classic.
in the world. And I had to go down, and I was going to see my nan anyway, so I had to stay there for 3 days anyway. So because non-refundable train tickets are unfortunately a thing in this day and age. But
it's quite a trek down there, isn't it?
Yeah, no, it's I think 3.5 hours.
That's not too bad.
And I went straight from uni, which is fine. I'll be honest with you, I lost where we were at the moment.
Worthing's ground, I think. Yeah.
Worthing.
Worthing's nice. I'll be honest with you. I'm a big fan of what they do at the club. Honestly, I think their output is one of the best in National League South. Their ground as well, I think, is brilliant. It's National League quality.
Yeah.
I love what the media team are doing now. I like the staff. They're always so welcoming, and it is a really nice ground. I do like it. It's one of my favourites in the league.
I definitely want to go there.
Yeah, I don't. It doesn't surprise me. It's actually quite a nice ground, and it's in a good location as well. And it's, when you go into a lot of clubs, like how stadiums are in like a completely different complex. This stadium, like, let's say, have you seen the photo about Grimsby, for example? It's just completely
where their ground is. Yeah,
Worthing is exactly like that. It's in the middle of like loads of houses, and I think that's for me.
That's what you want, I think.
Yeah, it's proper football. It's proper.
You
football.
want that?
Well, I think for the community, and as you say, it is proper football.
I was going to confuse it. So I went to Woking, and the trek from the airport, the trek from the train station it's ages.
Yeah,
unbelievable.
I've never been there, unfortunately, but that'll be an interesting visit.
Good ground,
Yeah.
but I mean, my word, let's make the train station a bit closer or make the club a bit better. One of the two. Let's speak about Watford.
Yes, of course.
So you're an ultra.
Wouldn't say an ultra. Would not say an ultra at all. There's no way. But I've been a season ticket holder for about 10 years now. So,
Nice.
Whenever I'm not working, I go and watch them instead.
Whenever you're not working?
Whenever I'm not working.
So there's games that you miss?
Yeah, no. So if, for example, if we're not playing, then I'll go and watch them instead. So if Dorking are playing, I'll go and watch them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what about when Dorking are playing, you've got to go to Dorking?
Yeah, so if Dorking are playing, I'll go work with Dorking. If Dorking aren't playing, for example, like a Tuesday night.
So do you not lose money? Because for the big clubs, Arsenal, you can sell your ticket.
Yeah.
You can't sell your ticket at Watford.
Well, I get my season ticket quite cheap because I think it's about, for me, because I pay £80 a season, which is more than
You pay £80 a season?
for a season?
Yeah, I think it's something about that.
Wow.
Wait, what?
I think it's because I had an under 18s ticket, and it didn't really count until I was like over 18. So when I turned 19, it was still £80. So it's perfect.
That's
for me.
unbelievable.
It's perfect.
And there's what?
great.
Is it 46 games in the championship?
No, it's not 46 because
42. Sorry,
42.
a season.
No, because I think it's like 23.
No. I mean in general.
Oh, in general.
But
yeah,
in terms of home games, it would be half
yeah,
that, wouldn't
yeah,
it?
about half that.
I mean, that's going to work out not much per game. That's unbelievable.
Watford, you can get 5 or 10, depending on where you sit. £5 or £10.
Yeah, which we've done before.
Which, to be
haven't we,
honest
so?
with you, is not worth it at this current moment.
Oh,
in
no,
time.
of course.
It's not worth it.
Yeah, it's not great. It's not great.
The thing is with Watford is let's speak about now. So they've just signed Edward Still, Will Still's brother, on a 2.5-year contract. Now, I don't know anyone, bar Tom Cleverley, in the last 10 or 12 years, 15, who has done more than a season. Tom Cleverley's the only one. So to sign someone on a 2.5-year deal is ludicrous.
Yeah, I give him 6 weeks. I'll be honest with you.
You're lying.
I'll give him 6 weeks. 100%. There is the problem with this appointment is I had a look. He's only won 2 games in the last 23. He hasn't been in management since I think it was something like 2024. And the problem with this appointment is that he used to manage a certain club called Charleroi. Do you know Charleroi?
Yeah,
Belgium.
Now, this is the problem. So Watford have a very infamous agent called Mogi Byatt, and there is quite a distinct relationship with Charleroi and Watford, which means we have a lot of players that come from Charleroi to Watford. For example, Vacuum Bio, who I believe signed for Watford for £6 million.
And what waste of money that was.
What a waste of money that was. I absolutely agree. I don't know where he is now, but he's not.
Udinese.
Oh, is he?
Yeah,
that does not.
That's
shock
another
me.
link, isn't it?
That doesn't shock me at all.
Yeah.
There's quite an infamous link between the two clubs, which is the main thing. which
I never do that.
It's not really a link, but it's more like
A mutual connection.
It's a mutual connection, and it's come under criticism from a lot of the fan
But why
base.
wouldn't you get Will still? Like, why would you go for the Timu version?
I've got a feeling he would never come to Watford because there's just no job security at the club, and I think a lot of managers are going to know that now. There's just no job security.
It's got ridiculous now the last year or two.
Yeah, well, this is the problem. I think if you're coming to Watford, if you're going to buy a house, I just rent. I'll be honest with you, I just rent.
yeah,
There's no point
100%,
in
yeah.
much buying a house because you know for a fact that if you're going a bad run of form, your job's already under the cosh. Do you know? So it's like, what's the point?
I couldn't believe it. So like when the most recent game was Southampton, people were saying, he's going to get sacked. And I sort of was under that impression that I wasn't very surprised, but I was also a bit like, hang on a sec, give him a bit of time. At the same time, we've got players on the bench like Iran Kunda, who's not been playing.
Kurmgard's been on the bench lately.
Kurmgard, happy birthday to him, by the way.
Is his birthday today?
Yesterday.
Okay.
We got a lot of good players in the team for some reason. A, not finding the back of the net, and B, they're on the bench and they should be in the team.
100%. I think one of them was Quadro Bar. I don't know how that man is still on the bench. He is comfortably one of our best players at the club, and he always has been for the last 2 seasons. I just don't get the fact that we've got such quality that we can use, and we're just not using it, especially under Javi Gracia, who returned to the club for what feels like the 17th time at this point. Like, he just didn't get game time, and I still think, like, if you've got a player who's like, he's been attracting interest from the Premier League and the Bundesliga, and you've just got to sit on the bench. What's the point?
What
Do you
a
know?
waste.
Over
Like,
Tommins.
What a waste.
By the way.
like Tommins is just not. He's not a championship player. If you've got Quadro Bar on the bench or Iran Kunda on the bench, when I went to watch them recently, I think I watched the game against who was it? I think it wasn't Swansea, but I watched them recently on a Tuesday night. Might have been against Huddersfield.
Well, Wednesday would have been
Huddersfield.
Portsmouth. Tuesday would have been Hull.
It was a 1-1 draw. It might have been
Portsmouth.
Yeah, probably Portsmouth.
Portsmouth.
Yeah. I just don't get how you can have them on the bench and just not use them at all. So I remember just seeing the benches. Oh, you bring on Kiembe. I'm like, you've got
Kayembe, yeah.
like, you've got
Wow, yeah.
like you've got 2 high quality players on the bench that you can instantly use to bring on, and you're not using them. I just don't understand why not. I just don't understand. It annoys me as much as it does you boys. Obviously, it annoys me so much.
Go on, well, talk to me about it, because I know that you've been watching Watford.
I do watch Watford, but what I noticed was a point away at Hull was solid because Hull are third, pushing on for second,
Yeah.
pushing on for first.
And we should have comfortably won that game.
And you should have won that game. Hull have fallen off in the past 2-3 games, haven't they?
There's too many of that, though. This season there's been too many. We should have won, we could have won, we should have scored 3. I thought Kjørngaard played brilliantly in the first couple of weeks of the season.
He's a great player.
Watford haven't won a game since the 1st of January.
Yeah, which is coincidentally the last game I actually went to watch, so which
really?
is unbelievable. So, yeah, I don't know what's going on with the club anymore. I'll be honest with you, it is falling into disarray at this stage, and like I think we're at our 4th head coach of the season. So Pezzolano, Gracia, Charlie Daniels, if you count him, and now still, it's sort of like. If you're a player and you're a young player and you want to go out and loan, your first choice is never going to be Watford. Do you know what I mean? And I think it's just I don't know how Manchester City are trusting us with these products. We've got Max Allane recently, who was unbelievable. He was a brilliant footballer, and now we've got Mafuni now, who's
He was the youngest player to ever start, wasn't he?
Who is since Nathaniel Chalobah?
Yes.
Who was I thought he was really good. So I honestly don't understand. Like, if you're a high level club, you're not going to send your players out to Watford because you get different coaches. What it seems like every 2 or 3 weeks now, which is ridiculous, and it's just not sustainable as a football club. And I think that I get that. Okay, it might have worked in recent seasons. So, for example, when we got promoted, we had when we last got promoted, we had Ivic and Xisco Munoz.
He was great.
I love Xisco.
Xisco was great.
He was just. I think he was just there for banter, and that's what I liked about Xisco. He was such a man manager. He was just there to just make the players just be themselves. And, just sort of develop them in a way. He was actually quite a good coach. I think he's one of the best, the best that we had in the last 5 years. I think any coach that gets
I agree.
is one of the best.
And it's a shame that he went to Wednesday because he didn't do very well there.
What happened to him at Wednesday?
Yeah.
It just came out of nowhere. And when I watched them, they seem completely different. I think that's happened with a lot of coaches. When you go from Watford and you go elsewhere, you look a little bit different. But it always seems like, for example, Rob Edwards, when he came to Watford, completely different style of play. Then he went to those lot up the road. I'm not going to say those that name for an obvious reason. And went to those lot up the road, and he got them promoted.
Yeah.
And now he's at Wolves now, isn't he?
Yes.
Yeah, and just like it boggles me, just like how gaffers can come here.
Chris Wilder, another name.
For example.
Oh, always back and forth, isn't it? Always back and
how
forth.
they can come here, get set within 6 months or 4 months at this rate, do you know what I mean? And then go over to another club, get promoted, or just do really well with them. And it's like, it says something a lot about the club. Like it's not the managers. It's got to be something else. But I'm not sure what it could be.
Is the team good enough to get promoted?
I think it is.
I think it is.
I think
it's a bit of a hard question. I think it definitely is a good squad. It's a very, very solid squad, and you've got a lot of options to go forward. I thought everyone at the start of the season thought, okay, under Pezzolano, we're going to play some good football, and there's a good chance of us going up.
I really thought.
Yeah.
Really.
And then inside the first 6 weeks, just completely different. So I listen. I can't understand why Watford are like the way they are, and it's been the same for the last five years, and that's the problem at the moment.
Well, if we don't get promoted, Loser's gone. You can put money on it. I mean, Pollock will probably stay. I mean, you can go through the team now and you can say Iran Kunda's not playing in the Championship next year. There's no way.
Iran Kunda will go. Bar will go.
Yeah.
Loser's nailed on to go.
Yeah.
Mama will 100% go. It's just like...
And then you've got to rebuild again. Look, when Pezzolano came in at the start of the season, I really thought this would be the year. Everything looked... I went to the Boreham Wood game and it looked exciting. I think it was a 2-0 win. And obviously, bloody, is it raining that badly?
Blimey.
My word. And obviously, with the season going ahead, it looked like a squad. It looked like a side that we could really build onto. Now, it brings in Cisco, because you know it's going to be really obscure to say. When Cisco got sacked from Sheffield Wednesday, he was in this like grey big coat. And I remember seeing, was it Millwall, Pezzolano's last game?
I think it was, yeah.
He was in one of those, again, this big grey coat. And I just thought this is just flashbacks from manager getting sacked.
Yeah, exactly. To be honest with you, I didn't... Like, Pezzolano was an okay manager.
You didn't rate him.
But it's like it came out of nowhere. And this is the problem with us. Like, it's a certain cycle that you go through for Watford managers. We always start with a foreign coach that is, can play attacking football. Then you move to the English coach who can keep you up. And then you can go to another coach and it just goes round and round and round. It's the same cycle that you get every single season. And that's the problem. It's just for me, it's a weird business model. And I don't know why. For me personally, I don't know why we didn't stick with Cleverley a little bit longer. But at the same time,
can see both sides to that.
You can see why.
Yeah.
You can see why we got rid of him. So, yeah, it's very different. But I'm a bit lost with what the direction the club's trying to go into at the moment. It's a bit like weird, isn't it?
It is. But we've touched upon the squad and all the players at the disposal. Now, what we did with Charlie Bush was we did his ideal starting 11 if he took over. So I want to do the same with you.
Oh, okay.
So obviously, whatever formation you want, go for it. So talk us through your ideal 11.
Right, I love a 3-5-2.
It does say here. It says on here you love a 3-5-2.
I love a 3-5-2.
Okay.
That's no bias because I've seen that every week at Dorking, but I love a 3-5-2. I love a 3-5-2. So in goal, for me, I'd probably go Igor Selvik.
Yeah.
He's been fantastic. And he's... What? Who are you guys going to have? Daniel Batman?
No.
I'm all right,
Massive,
thank you.
massive. Yeah.
No.
Did Watford even announce that he left? On Instagram, there was nothing about it.
No, we did announce that we left. Is he at Leyton Orient now?
Well, yeah. I found that for a friend.
My mate's a Leyton Orient fan, and he got injured 30 minutes into their warm-up, and he's out for a few
Into the
weeks.
warm-up?
Yeah, he got injured. He hasn't even played a single minute.
Well, I was surprised because I remember going to Watford and he just did all these stretches like that.
Yes,
the
he
leg
was.
over the
He
head.
was doing this,
Unbelievable. I don't know if you've ever seen them.
No, it's just
You don't want to.
So Selvik in goal.
Selvik in goal. Back three at the moment. I'd probably go Pollock in the middle.
Yeah.
Mafuni right side, and then I'd probably go. I don't know who to pick there. Really, you can't pick Keben.
A bank was there, but
I probably would go Abankwa.
Yeah.
Fair enough. I probably would go Abankwa.
You wouldn't go Keben?
I wouldn't go Keben.
Why?
I don't know. I'm more confident in Abankwa in his ability.
We haven't seen. Sorry to interrupt. We haven't seen too much of this new guy from Georgia, Saba Goladeshi.
I have no idea who he is. I'll be honest. I have got no idea.
Well, he's
who
worth
he is.
£8.3 million, and he's a centre back. He's not even. I thought he was a wing back, but he's a centre back.
Is he tall?
21 years old. He is 193 centimetres.
Okay.
6'2"-ish.
Yeah.
Right. So if we're going off that at the moment, from what I know, I'd rather have a Banquo.
Okay.
Fair enough.
Two left side. I'd probably go Iran Kunda. Just for a bit straight.
Yeah.
Right side, obviously, you go Quadra Bar. Two midfield holders, Kipriano, Loser. Just in front of them, I would probably have. And see, this is where we run out of options. Who do you pick?
You got Chak, haven't you?
You got Chak. Oh yeah, of course, Chak Vidazzi. This proves that I don't watch Watford a lot anymore. Do you know what I mean?
Well, you got Eduardo Bob as well.
Yeah.
But I haven't seen any of it.
No, I don't know.
I've watched him for during the Serie A.
Yeah.
He looks half decent, but it's a big change in league, isn't it?
Well, yeah, I think
It's a 5-year deal as well.
it's a big gamble, isn't it? Because
Yeah.
he had that heart issue.
Yeah.
I think it'll be good to see what he does. I think it's been touted as like one of the biggest signings that Watford have made in the last few years.
Yeah.
Definitely is. Yeah.
Which, is not the greatest thing to do in a lot of senses, because the most of the time when we sign players, they don't really perform for us, unfortunately, which is the main thing. But hopefully he can prove me wrong. I do want to see him prove me wrong.
Well, the front line is obviously the most interesting for all of us. So Iran Kunda, Marma, Dumbia, Semedo, and these, by the way, I don't know what your thoughts are on Semedo and Dumbia, but I just think they're woeful at times. I really can't get my head around why
I do like Dumbia. I do actually rate Dumbia, but I think he's got a lot about him in my personal opinion. But the problem is Semedo. Now I'm gonna let you in a little secret. So I tipped Semedo to be our top scorer at the start of the season. Obviously that hasn't happened.
Yeah.
But I don't know what's happened to him. Like, I watched him against Norwich in the Carabao Cup, and he just did nothing. And
that game.
yeah,
Oh my word.
He just did nothing.
That was an awful game.
Weren't you there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's when I saw Charlie Bush. I just couldn't
Yes.
believe it. Good. Well, see, so Semedo came from a Portuguese side, scored 8 goals in 27 games, and he's just come to Vicarage Road and done. Is it his first season here?
Yeah, first season.
Okay.
It just seems a bit characteristic that when players come in, they just don't do a lot.
Well,
You know
I
what
thought
mean?
Bayo was awful.
Yeah, I think the less the said about him, the better. In all fairness, I did. If I speak about Bakary Bale on this podcast, I would be here for quite a while. I'll be honest with you. I didn't like him as a striker, and I just thought, I didn't. Well, it wasn't just me who held that opinion. So
No, definitely not.
Yeah, I just didn't like him at all as a striker. That's yeah.
So up front, you've got Chak Vadeze, Kurmgard, Vata is obviously injured. You could play up front, I suppose.
Well, Kieran God's got to be in there.
Yeah.
Well, it's all about front,
100%.
right?
And if you're gonna go as a 2, I'd probably have Dumbuya in there.
So you'd have Iran Kunda on the bench. Oh, no, sorry,
No,
you'd have
he's
Marma
on
on the
the
bench.
I'd have him on
Yeah.
bench just to come on.
Okay. That's a decent team.
I think it's a good team.
I wanted to go through the next couple of games. So you think he'll last a month? So let's go through, 7 weeks.
7 weeks.
Well, let's go through roughly the next 7 weeks of fixtures and see how many points. So you can keep count of the points. I'll give out the fixtures. Preston away.
It's always a tough place to go for us. We struggle there. We struggle at Preston away.
And they're good form,
They are
Preston.
good.
New manager bounce.
Yeah, but
The 2 wins in
yeah, but
23.
listen, new manager bounce at Watford is like you get it every 4 weeks. Do you know what I mean, it's like it doesn't really. I'd be lucky if we get a point now. I'd take a point. And
Oh my God.
Daniel Jefferson is nailed on to score, isn't he?
Oh, that guy.
He's just nailed on to score, and you just know he will.
He's the most. He scored against us in the river.
Yeah, he did.
Oh my God.
And he decided to give it large when he'd scored no goals at Vicarage
Who's
Road.
worse, Bayo or Jebson? Who's worse? Who did I say?
Bayo or Jefferson.
Bayo or.
Bayo or Jefferson? Oh, don't even make me pick. Don't even make me pick.
I couldn't pick.
Both as bad as each other.
I really think.
Like what? I can't pick between the 2 worst strikers that we've had in our recent history. It's like
Okay, moving on. We've got Derby at home.
Hang on. How many points was Preston?
One.
I thought
just
so.
the one.
Derby in good form as well.
Yeah, that's the problem. Like, and then I've said to a lot of people in this league,
And it
you
gets
can-
worse.
And Ipswich, yeah.
yeah, you will get points. Anyone can get points against anyone, but I think I take a draw again.
Okay, so we'll take
So
two, yeah.
Ipswich at home.
That's a loss.
Yeah, I'd
That's a
have to
definite
say.
loss.
Bristol away. We lost their 5-1.
That's a definite loss as well.
Even though they
my
got
word.
absolutely destroyed by Derby at home 5-0 last Friday
Well,
night.
it's just we always struggle when we go to Bristol, don't we? And
Yeah.
I think. Listen, if you've got a squad that goes into a game and loses 5-1, I get it, we rotated quite a bit. But if you lose 5-1 and you go back to the same place, I get you've got the chance to go and redeem yourself, but your momentum's already killed from the
Yeah.
moment.
Do you think the momentum was killed from Hull?
I think it was killed from Bristol City.
So do I.
Yeah, I think it was killed because you when you're on a good run of form, you don't just rotate your players for no reason. Surely your first thought, okay, let's get a win on the board. Let's go and get yourselves, further up the league. Do you know what I mean? So to rotate there, I get you want to get minutes into players, but at the same time, why is there, why is there a need to rotate when you want to continue that form? And I said to a lot of people, listen, I want to play a strong team and get just build on it, but obviously we didn't make that choice, and obviously it just went downhill from there. So I think that the momentum, the moment the first goal went in, the Bristol scored, I think the momentum was just killed from there.
Well, saying that, Gracia said something along the lines of at full time. I don't know exactly what he said, but he was basically binned off the game.
Which I don't understand. And, I saw an interview from that Adam Drury did from the Watford Observer, saying that basically, I think it was something along the lines of Gracia's just lost his momentum to coach, which I think
It's an insane thing to say.
which if you're a coach, you don't just say, "Oh, I've lost the motivation." It's like you can't say that, but which I think was a bit mental. And I think when Javi came back, he hadn't coached in ages. I think the last time he coached us was us. It might have been, it might not have been.
I don't think it was. I think that it was about a year and a bit, 2 years.
Which I just think is mental. Why would you go into the job market and think, okay, he did well for us a few years ago. Okay, he's been out of coaching a year and a half. Let's just go get him back in. Like, from a standpoint, he might be one of our best coaches in the last recent years, but why would you think that's a good idea to try and get yourselves back into the championship? Do you know what I mean? I get it's like. Sometimes the appointments confuse me at this club, but listen, if that's what they want to do, that's what they want to do. Unfortunately.
Well, speaking of which, Gracia, I'm sure was at Leeds, wasn't he?
He was at. I think he was at Everton, wasn't he?
Oh, I don't think it was Everton. No, I think let me look this up.
Hang on.
In the meantime, speak about Wrexham.
I don't
We've
remember.
got Wrexham at a 12:30 kickoff.
Yeah, he was.
Oh, I don't know. Well, if it helps, Wrexham are a good side, but
he was.
I think. Was it Leeds?
No, he was at Leeds. So he went from.
Was he? He was never at Everton.
No. So he went from Watford to Valencia to Al Sadd to Leeds, then back to Watford.
I've completely forgot he was at Leeds. I didn't realise.
I don't know why I thought
Well,
it was
he lasted from February to May.
Oh, that's probably why then. Very forgetful.
Was there a manager that's been at you and Everton though? There's been someone, isn't there? I'll search up in the meantime.
That's a good question. So 12:30 against Wrexham. Currently, there's 2 points on the board. Wrexham, by the way, been unbelievable.
Which is another problem. Like, I'm struggling to pick a game where we can win here at the moment. I'll be honest.
Well, you'd
with
like to say Sheffield Wednesday away. Don't tell me you think we'd lose that.
No, we will comfortably get points against them, but we need to see how we play. So I watched the press release from Still, and he wants to be very compact defensively and aggressive going forward, which I think would suit the squad.
Yeah, I think so.
I think it would very suit the squad, but from watching him, he plays, I think, a free back, which would be quite interesting to see, because a lot of the times when coaches come to Watford and they play free backs, it doesn't often work, which also eliminates a few of the players. Mott Bowler, where does he fit into that squad, for example? Where does Ngakia fit in? Where does those sort of...
And Ngakia's been pretty good this year.
Yeah, I thought he's been pretty good. Where does Petrie fit in as well? So that's already four players out your card, which I think already is an issue. But I guess we'll just have to see. I thought we'll have to see if they're gonna be aggressive and they're gonna defend it compactly in the way that they say they will be. I am a bit confident because they actually will fit this squad. And to be honest with you, I think he's got a track. I think from what I've seen, I think he's got a track record of working with young players and trying to improve them. But we'll just have to see. There's no in football you can't just instantly make judgments from the moment the appointment's made. You actually just got to watch the team first before you make anything. So I want to see how they play first.
Well, speaking about the Belgian league, there's a lot of teams in that league, by the way. I think that's a very
some
underrated
interesting
league.
teams in there. You've got Standard Liège, Antwerp,
The team you mentioned,
Charleroi.
Charleroi, yeah.
Anderlecht.
My word, so many good teams in that
Genk.
league.
Ghent.
Club Brugge.
Yeah.
And who's the other one? You got Club Brugge and you got the green team. Anyone know? No.
The green team, brilliant.
No, I'm sure. Wait, okay, you can give us who played.
It was Marco Silva was at you and Everton.
Oh, of course.
That's who it was, not Gracia.
Yes,
Marco
yeah.
Silva.
What match you looking up? I forgot.
The green team, Belgium.
Oh yeah, the Belgian team. So you think then in the next 7 weeks, what we're going to pick up 5 points?
Again, I cannot tell you. I can't physically predict it, but I would.
Circle Bruges.
Circle Bruges.
We'll have to see. We'll have to see. I want to see how. Again, does a free back work at Watford Football Club? It very rarely does.
I'm very sure that Gracia played through at the back of the attack at times. I'm pretty sure.
I think in transition he did.
In transition,
Yeah.
But very, very rarely does it work because I think with a free back you get.
Very rarely did we have the ball.
I think also as well. Like I think against Birmingham, I remember that's the main game I watched. We kept the ball quite a bit, but I think you just need to be careful with how you manage your players, especially with this sort of squad. They're very ruthless.
So my last question is: this season, where are Watford going to finish?
Okay. So I'm not very good with predicting because the last time that I did this, I went on the 72.com and I said we were going to get relegated.
Wow!
I mean, that was
At the start of the season, you said that.
not the start of the
Okay.
season. It was start of last season.
Okay.
I said we're going to get relegated. Obviously, I'm very, very good with predictions, as I can tell. I would be very, very happy with mid-table. I would more than comfortable just.
What have we
just
become?
This is the problem. Like I'm more than happy to say mid-table. That's the problem. I'm more than happy to say mid-table, but I think we are surprisingly we are still in the mix.
We could be in the mix 10 games before the end of the season,
which I find mental because I don't think we've been good this season. In some games, I don't think we've been good, but I think that the form that Gracia had a little bit before
has saved us.
The downfall saved our season in that sort of sense. I think we've been towards the playoffs, but in a way, I think that if we're lucky, we could push for playoffs. But I think maybe if we're being a bit optimistic here, my heart is saying that we finish 6th and sneak it in, but my head is saying that we finish maybe 9th at best. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see on that.
I think 9th's depressing because you're like a couple points off.
Yeah, you are.
That's the worst part.
That is the main thing, and I think that's the annoying part about it as well. Do you know what I mean? So,
if only we beat this team, or only
but we say that every season. That's the problem. As a Watford fan, you say, "Oh, if only this thing happened, or only this thing happened," and that's like, you see what I mean? It's just it happens with every club. So we can't just make excuses and say, "Oh, we should have beat this team, we should have beat that team." So we'll have to see. I guess we'll have to see. We're still, and hopefully you can do better in this, brother. That's the only thing. Let's see if you can do better in this, brother.
Fingers crossed. And my last question is obviously Dorking are high flying. So where did Dorking finish this season?
Oh, okay. Right, okay. I need to explain this now. So I'm actually leaving Dorking.
Oh, okay.
So I've officially left now. So I'm with Bootroom Wood. So
Okay.
I start with them this week. But I think Dorking have got a big chance of, obviously, I'm not going to be with them throughout the rest of the season. So I think they've got a big chance of winning the title. I think the signs that they got, obviously, Paul McCullum, come on. Paul McCullum at step 2, that is mental, isn't it? Like the National League, one of the biggest scorers, like one of the most known players in that league, is obviously just going to score goals in this league. He hasn't got one yet, but he will score goals. And you got Patrick Casey, who is absolutely flying at the moment. He's on a run of, I think he's scored in 7 consecutive games in the National League South, which is unbelievable. You've got Charlie Carter, who's yet to recover from injury. Obviously, you guys know that with every season, Dorking have an injury crisis,
there has been
the goalkeeper one this year.
Yeah, we had a keeper crisis. Dan Piper's out with a toe injury, so with Charlie Carter. Those two are obviously two lovely guys, but as a duo together, they're like ruthless. Do you know what I mean? They're ruthless like when on the pitch. Obviously, we've got Josh Moore out, Josh Taylor, ACL. A lot of players we're missing, and we're missing a lot of first-team players. But I think the quality we've got, there's still a lot of stuff to hopefully progress. And a lot of people are saying that when I return to the club, they want to see us. They want to see me at the promotion party. So hopefully, they go up as champions. And I want to see them go up as champions.
I think we all do.
We 100%.
Aside from Enfield Town, obviously, if Enfield can sneak up
Town are in a bit of relegation.
I'll be like Ryan Bruce and just return to the club with the Champions League medal around his neck.
By the way, he's not been doing very well at all.
No, he's not. I don't even know where he is now.
No, it was Swansea, I think.
Yeah.
I think. Henry, thank you very much for joining us. Look, we got to do your piece, but we'll always end with a handshake. So.
Oh, you're welcome, guys. My first podcast, so yeah, really, really do appreciate it, guys. Thank you for having me on. I appreciate it.
The camera's here, so if you want to handshake me here, thank you very much. Appreciate that,
guys.
You too, across
Henry,
the table.
pleasure,
Pleasure, mate.
pleasure.
Of course,
as always.
Thank you very much.